Yeah, wishes Stephanie. Okay, check out these curls. Thank you to Jason for dealing with my hair in a way that nobody else can. That awkward moment when your hairstylist references your YouTube channel. Awkward only because I'm super shy off of camera. Um, but yeah, anyway, not bad, right? It'll never look like this again. This is not the point. Meow wishes Stephanie. Yeah, so I tried to use, what is the phrase? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Ni Jiao Shima, which I think is minus my crappy tones. What's your name? I think, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. I'm putting some sentences from the HSK book. I have all kinds of visuals displayed out all over here that you can't even see, into my note cards because I don't want to start, I'm out of new stuff and I don't want to put in the HSK2 vocabulary yet. So I'm putting in sentences from the HSK1 practice materials from the book, mostly from the book. And one of them was Ni Jiao Shima, and I almost had the opportunity to ask this little girl today that was kind of making weird faces at us at a museum, but she kept like making a face and running, and I couldn't catch her to say, hey, what's your name? But tonight, when we came home, there's usually a security guard and they accept your packages because a lot of times you're not home, and so they'll accept your packages for you because ordering and receiving packages in China is a huge business. I know it's big in the US as well right now, but think of Amazon times a million, and that's how much stuff is delivered. So so I was like, hey, I hate the fact that I'm just like always just saying, do I have any packages, and not saying, like, I'll say hi and goodbye and thank you, but I don't know their name, and I don't know what to call them. I don't know, like, I don't know. And I went an entire year with the most wonderful security guards in our last apartment, not really having any communication with them except for giant smiles and thumbs up and stuff like that. And so this time I'm like, okay, look, if I'm learning these sentences, I might as well use them. Not my long-term goal. I know that's weird, but that's me. But I can use them. So we were asking her, I got a little shy because she just doesn't seem like she wants to talk to us, but doesn't seem like a not nice person. She just seems kind of not comfortable talking to us. And so I was like coaching my husband on how to say it, how I think it said, the sentence, it is the sentence. And so he went in and was like, wow, and like, Wu Jiao, and his name, and then Ni Jiao Shima. And she was kind of taken aback, and I was thinking, I think I got that sentence right. Okay, it's probably a tone issue, or she's not expecting us to ask her name. And she said ai, which I thought meant cleaner, but I guess means auntie, apparently. We call cleaners aunties. What is happening? Because if you have a house cleaner, somebody who comes like once or twice a week, or somebody that lives in your house and is your cleaner and probably your cook, they're called AIs, A-Y-I. I don't know the tone. It is not in my HSK material. And so she just said to call her that, and I thought that was weird that we would call her cleaner, and then my husband reminded me that it doesn't actually mean cleaner. People just call their cleaners auntie. So there you go. So she eventually did say, call me auntie, and she kept saying ai, and I was like, okay. And I didn't get why, but now I get why. So now I will say ni hao ai, which seems weird still because she's not our cleaner. She's just one of the security guards in the building. I don't know. This is not the point of this video at all. I don't know. So there's these random sentences that are popping into my head, which is really rare. Really, really rare. Right. And then there's the other instance of words popping into my head. You've studied too much when you close your eyes to I close my eyes to think. I'm a very, very visual person, and so if anything's around me, I could get distracted, so I close my eyes to think. And when I do that sometimes now, because I'm studying like 2 hours a day while I'm on this break, which to me feels like a lot, and to some people is like, that's not enough for Chinese, whatever. So I close my eyes, and literally words will just come by. And sometimes they'll come by in Hanzi form, like ting, is a really fun word visually in Hansa characters. I don't know if it's considered one character or two. There's two components, and is that one character? Don't know, don't care. So that one comes by in Hansa, and then like Rensche, like to know or to recognize, will come by in Pinyin, and just random words will just come by, and it's not the ones that I'm having problems with, which I wish it was, because then I could kind of just have this impromptu review session, but it's the ones that I probably reviewed that day that I already knew, and they're coming by again, but I don't need to know them, because today I reviewed level 5 in, which, no, this is level 2, 3, and 4. Level 5 got about that big in my flashcards. It was huge, so I only did half of it today, for reasons that I'll tell you later, but yeah, because level 5 ones are pretty easy at this point. So I don't need them to be reviewed. I need the ones that have been stuck at level 1 for 2 weeks. I need those to go by so I can start playing with those more. Does this ever happen to you? Do words and phrases and sentences just pop into your head at the most, not necessarily inopportune time, but the weirdest times? Like I'm sitting on the bus just staring out, and I might be thinking about something, or I might see something and go, oh, I need to do this later, and then boom, like a word, not even connected to what I'm thinking about, will pop into my head. Again, either in Hansa or in Pinyin, depending on which one I remember. And I hate that there's two. I'm glad that there is a stepping stone to the characters, but I hate that there's a stepping stone to the characters, because I feel like it's causing some interference. And I already talked about that in the last video, but it's hard when there's two. Like, can we just have a phonetic alphabet and leave it at that? Please? So anyway, but I like the look of the Hansa characters, and I find them fascinating, and digging into them is very interesting. But as far as using them to pronounce the language, fail. I know there are sound components. I don't quite understand how to use them, how to identify them. I have lists. I've printed out lists of sound components, but it's a long, exhaustive list, and it's a bit overwhelming. So it sits in my pile of materials that I want to get to later. So yeah, this language that just pops into your head and floats around you. Now, mind you, this is different than when I'm doing the listening for the HSK stuff and language is just floating past me. Because that's floating past me in a way where I can't seem to grasp it at all. Whereas this stuff is kind of going in slow motion, like a Goodyear blimp, or just like a blimp with a message on it that's going by. Slow enough that you can see the advertisement. That's what these are doing. Which I wish the listening, the words and the characters for the listening were going that slow, because then it would be like subtitles, and I feel like I could understand it better if it were a little bit slower. But if it was slower, it would be faker, and I would hate that. Faker, is faker a word? It would be more fake. I don't care. It would be a word. It should be a word. Let's make it a word. Yes. Yeah, so do words and phrases and sentences float around you as you're studying a language? And does that stop at some point, or does it keep going? Because it's kind of bizarre. I was in the middle of a conversation when one of the characters kind of in my brain, but in that slower way, so I was thinking about what it meant. Because although my brain's the thing that brought it up, it wasn't the thing that recognized it. And so it took me a second, and I'm in the middle of speaking to someone. I was in the middle of speaking to someone today, and this happened. And I paused because I wanted to do it like a flashcard. And I realized that I had left the conversation to attend to the flashcard in my head. How does this happen? Like, is this a sign that I've done too many flashcards, and do I need a flashcard recovery group at this point? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I should show you some of the newer types of flashcards that I've made now that I've told you that I need help, because I'm doing too many of them. I was going to talk about my listening from today, but I have a feeling that that is going to make this too long, so I'll make that a separate video. So I told you that I'm doing the ones that are similar, like this is sh, and this is sh, and I'm doing those tones wrong, but I've got the tone marks here to remind me what they are. And I started to confuse them, so I made a card with both of them so I could see them side by side, and for some reason that works for me. And then on the back, of course, I have just the meaning with the opinion and the tones. So I've made a bunch of those. The time words really confused the heck out of me. So I made kind of a little card and I said put them in time order, and then I put a timeline on the back. I'm still confusing them, but I think, and this is going into the Lightner system, so the more I get it right, the more it will go up. And so I will see this often until it is cemented in my brain. And this one, I've already talked about the confusion between Zhao and Shuo. I can't say that word to speak. Shuo, can't do it. Oh, Shuo, yeah, I can't. I just can't, I suck. And then I told you I was doing sentences. Oh, this is it. This is the sentence. Ah, it is right. Ni jiao shima, ni jiao shima, ni jiao shima. Actually, they don't really say the H in Shanghai. I keep noticing that. So it's ni jiao shima, sima. Ni jiao shima, ni jiao shima. I don't know, but it's what is your name? This is what we were trying to say to the security guard today. And she was like, what are you asking me? So is it a cultural thing? Should I not be asking my guard what her name is? I don't know. Or is it a linguistic thing? Or was it just the talking dog syndrome where she wasn't expecting us to speak any Chinese at all? Or was she just not in the mood? Because you know what? I get it. If you're the security guard of a place, you probably get to deal with people in all kinds of moods. All kinds of moods, thinking that they own your butt. And they don't. It's just a job. All right. Yeah. Oh, I was so excited to remember that sentence. All right. So that's pretty much, oh, this is an ugly one. Okay. Here's 3 different things. We've got, let me not do that with my middle finger. We've got we've got Li and Lai, Li, third tone, Lai, rising tone, and mi fan. I'm trying to do third and fourth tone, but whatever. It all changes when it's next to something else, right? Meh, hate that. All right, so yeah, so I've got these because for some reason, even though this is enclosed, this is not enclosed, and this does look like that, but it's missing the top thing. I confuse them. So I think that putting them near each other kind of helps me. And then I've got the meaning on the back. So I'm hoping those kinds of cards will help. And yeah, so when I make a comparison card, I put it in level 1 and then it goes up just like all the other vocabulary. So I think that is probably going to be helpful. The longer I study the vocabulary, the more I confuse words with other words. Yeah, so there's that. So that is my floating vocabulary and new flashcards system. Or it's not system, additions. Well, the floating words and characters are not a system. They're probably a problem. But they're my problem. And who knows, maybe it's a sign that I'm absorbing it. I have no idea what is happening with that. Please leave a note in the comment section, or a comment in the comment section below if this happens to you in any language ever. I know people say they dream in different languages, and I've dreamed in languages I don't speak, which is thoroughly confusing. I sometimes wake up from these dreams and can't even distinguish what language it was. So I don't know if this is a factor of that. I don't know what's happening. I have no idea. But if you have any similar experiences, please share them below. I'd like to know. I would just like to know. Thank you. Zaijian.